Hi guys and welcome to my review of Boku no Hero Academia chapter 145 and 146. Sorry about not having chapter review last week. I was on holiday, or I was going on holiday, and when I had done my One Piece and my Shokugeki no Soma videos, I was like, I have no more time, so I just decided to just push the review into this week as well. So that is why probably won't happen again without an announcement. I just timed it very badly last week. But let's get into the chapters, because we finish off the Kirishima fight, or the Kirishima and Fat Gumma fight, I should say, and the flashback as well. I want to talk very briefly about the flashback, because one person 2 weeks ago said that Kirishima's story seemed very much like a villain, and I know that a few reviewers actually said, oh, what if Kirishima is actually the traitor, like the one who's been feeding the League of Villains information. And like when I first heard that, I was like, oh my god, did I completely misinterpret this? But then I thought about it and I was like, no no, I trust Kirishima. I trust that Kirishima's a good guy. So I was like in doubt for like 5 seconds, and I was like, no, I stick to my original opinion, that is, it's really cool that Kirishima's story resembles one of a villain, because that just means that depending on your perspective and depending on like small moments you have, with Kirishima, it was most likely the little DVD thing he found from Crimson, right? I think his name is, with that very kind of like emotional thing, emotional speech about manliness and stuff like that, and about fear. I think that was like the turning point for Kirishima, and how he maybe didn't turn from a villain to a hero, but definitely it gave him the motivation he needed to want to become a hero again and openly say he wanted to apply for UA. And I also, last time I really liked his little interaction with Ashido, because that was just really cool that she, I don't know if I can say acknowledged him, but definitely like they had that kind of like, again, not bonding moment, but they had that really nice interaction that I really liked. And also, as I said 2 weeks ago, about how it's really great how manliness is portrayed not as like a gender thing, but as like a way of life. I was really happy when I read last time like that specific thing that I talked about was then clarified even more in the chapter, like so clearly, because he literally said manliness has nothing to do with gender, and I was like so happy that was a thing, because I talked about before, and especially 2 weeks ago, how I really like the gender portrayal in Boku no Hero Academia. Especially because I have very low standards for gender portrayals, and just like minority portrayals in I was about to say in One Piece in manga and stuff like that. So whenever like there's really good representation, I always highlight it, because it's like I don't expect that from Japan, because they have like their not that they have different values, of course they do as well, but I also don't want to say that they're like behind when it comes to like social justice or stuff like that, but they're definitely like not as big on like gender equality or like LGBT issues or racist. I don't know what to say about that. But yeah, it's not like in the Western world, I'd say it's like you want like for like a TV show or like a movie to have be popular, you usually need like your representation in I was about to say shonen again, but just in anime and manga and just Japanese culture. That's not really what I'm looking for, because I don't expect that from them. But when you have a series that does so well with their representation of whatever, I just get really happy. But that was a 3-minute rant about that. I'm not just gonna dwell on that anymore, so let's move on to this chapter. It ends. And it ends rather oddly, because the guy they're fighting against, Rappa, was that his name? I'm not into learning these names. I need to reread everything before I actually remember names. So at some point I'm gonna reread like all the arcs that I feel like I need to refresh on, or just the entire series, because I get bored. But until then, I'll probably not learn the names of underlings. But I really liked the guy, who was like, so this time is a draw, because no one died, and in the meantime, you can just like there's a medical room over there. Heal up, next time we'll fight, someone will die, and someone will win. So that's really cool. And he's also really quick about just giving out information about Chisaki, which is just so... I find that so funny, because it's like, you had those guys who were fighting against Tamaki, who were like, we would just die for him. Like, he uses us, and we're fine with that, because he picked us up when we were gonna die anyway. So now that we have, like, now we have a choice of, like, our death. So we can choose to die for him. That was, like, their perspective on dying for him. So that was kind of okay. This guy's just like, yeah, I'm kind of working for him because I need to... he's won against me 5... Like, he literally killed me 5 times, and that's why I'm kind of working for him, because I want to win, so I'm just, like, here until I can win. I like that, because he doesn't have a sense of loyalty towards Chisaki, which I really like. It shows the flaws in this organization, that he's just freely giving information away, because he's not there out of loyalty. He's just there because this guy is stronger than me and I want to beat him. I just... And it's just like Fakam said, he was like, this guy's sense of ideals, or whatever she said, it's just so strong. Like, he's willing to just, like, heal his enemies and give us information just because he wants a fight to the death so bad, and a fair fight as well. He doesn't want them to fight when one of them is so injured that they can't have a proper fight. So he wants them to be at their best and then fight to the death. I can really get behind his morals. Like, even though he's such a bad dude, I kind of get it. Like, it's the same with Stain. Like, obviously Stain's bad dude when he killed innocent people, but you're still like, yeah, I understand where you're coming from. You can, like, you're not rooting for them, but you get it. It's like, if you have to choose a villain, I choose you. So I really like that, how he's just willing to give all that information, even though his partner is like, no, don't say anything. But we get that little snippet of information that Chisaki, he needed money, and he needed, what was the other thing he said, resources or whatever. And if you get those 2 things, then the plan will come along soon. Obviously the drug they were talking about. We have some information again with Eri and how their plan is, like, coming along, and he also says that one interesting thing about his father, how you have those henchmen that are close to his father and, like, working for him and not for Overhaul or Chisaki, because they, like, want to follow his father's will, but in reality, Chisaki is the one who's really following his father's will, or something like that. And I just remember being like, we don't know what this freaking ideal is. Like, what is even going on? What is it that you want? Obviously, like, it was to revive the Yakuza, but there has to be more to it than that. I want to really know what, like, the goal here is. And of course, by the end of the chapter, we have, what's her name? We have Double and, or, I forgot what his real name is, but Double, and crazy girl who can shapeshift if she has blood. Toga! Yes, that's her name. I was like, I know what it is. So we know that whatever negotiations that the League and Chisaki made, I'm not gonna say they went well, but they definitely came to some kind of agreement that he could borrow these 2 people for a while. So I want to know what... Yeah, I want to know what the League got out of this, because they were the ones who were like, yeah, we don't really care. Because you're not gonna... Because Chisaki wanted to rule over them. No, that's not right. Tamura wanted to rule over Chisaki, and then he refused, and then he came back to them with another proposition. That's how it went. So I want to know what the League got out of this, because if they couldn't get Chisaki to bend to their will, what did they want instead? That's what I want to know, and that's what I meant. I was just confused for like 1 second. Yeah, because I'm just generally very interested in knowing the motives of the villains, because we always know the motive of the heroes, because the hero's motive is always to stop the villains. So the interesting part is always, what does the villain want? Like, what is their goal? What do they hope to achieve? And is it like something where they just have a twisted version of what is for the greater good, or is it just like for some selfish plan, or some like greater grand master plan that has 1,000 layers of plan in it? or what is it? And we still don't fully know, I believe, what Tamura wants, because he said, like, obviously all series he wants to kill All Might and destroy the symbol of peace, but he's kind of already done that. So what's the next step? I'm sorry. So yeah. Also sorry about that. But I also, okay, yeah, I think I'm done talking now, because now I'm just rambling. I don't have no idea where my thoughts are going. So, like the chapter. Also, oh, one last thing, I completely forgot about this. I really liked that Kirishima was the one to go to Tamaki and say that he wanted to, like, join the internship here with Fatgum. And I really liked the little thing that Fatgum said, that when Kirishima kind of showed off that he kind of looked down upon himself, he really wanted Kirishima to stay with him, because he feels very much like, because he took in Samaki as well, so I feel like Fatgum, for me, really seems like the kind of, I was about to say coach, but the kind of hero who wants to not only raise good and strong heroes, but heroes who also have confidence in themselves and just, like, help people in general with, like, mental issues and stuff like that. So he just seems to be, like, a good person for people like that, because Tamaki and Kirishima had two very different issues here. Like, one of them had, like, not severe anxiety, but anxiety, and then you have Kirishima, who just, like, he looked down upon himself, he had low self-confidence, and he didn't think he was anything special, and then he just, like, low self-esteem, and yeah, low self-worth. So yeah, I really like that, how Fatgum was kind of like the guy who took both of them in and just is kind of building confidence in both of them. I really like that. And also I really like that we can see that both of them have, like, friends who also build confidence for them. So we have, with Tamaki, we had that entire thing with Mirio, and we know that Kirishima, even if he doesn't attend it, Bakugo is definitely a motivator for him. Because Bakugo, you know, again, I was supposed to say again, but that's because I talked about this in my Haikyuu review, I'm sorry. But when Bakugo gives a compliment to you, you have to accept it, because it's Bakugo. He doesn't give compliments easy. And when he does, it's because you either really need to hear it, or it's just, like, he doesn't understand why you don't get it yourself. So he has to, like, cut it out for you. And I really like that, because Bakugo was a lot of the things that Kirishima admires, like, we've seen a lot, like, now we understand what Kirishima means when he says, oh, so manly, and we know that that's, like, the one thing he always describes Bakugo by, which means that, just by correlation, that means that he admires Bakugo, and for Bakugo to have, like, continuously given him compliments, whether directly or indirectly, that has probably done a lot for Kirishima's confidence. So I really, really like that. Obviously, because Bakugo is my favorite character, but it just, I really like how you see the Class A has influence in each other, and it goes back to what Aizawa said about Bakugo and Deku, how they're, like, the driving force of Class 1A, and how, like, yeah, they're, like, the stars, and it's when they do something that the rest don't necessarily follow, but they definitely react to whatever they do. So I just really like that. I always find some way to end it on Bakugo. I'm sorry, but I need to talk more about him. He doesn't have, he's not gonna be in the anime for a while, he's not gonna be in the manga for a while. I need to get my geek out on him, so I'm sorry about that. I know some people really don't like him, but I really do, so sorry. I have a feeling that at this point now, like, people who don't really like Bakugo just slowly decide not to watch my reviews, and those who like him stay, and we can all geek out about him together. And if you're still here and you don't like him, I'm sorry, you should. Not because he's a good person, because he's definitely not, because he's a great character. I'm gonna give an entire video on that when I get to making it at some point. I promise it will come at some point, before the year is over, and hopefully also before another month has gone past. But I'm gonna stop promising. But yeah, I'm gonna stop talking now, because it's almost been 15 minutes and that's way too long. So you can leave a like if you like anything that I had to say. Leave in the comments below what you thought of the chapter, and you can subscribe if you want to see more. And until next time, bye.